With Parkinson's, food isn't just fuel. It can be the difference between your meds working or not working at all. It can mean the difference between steady energy or hitting the wall halfway through the day. And here's the kicker. Up to 80% of people with Parkinson's notice their diet directly impacts their symptoms or their medication. So today we're going to get real about food. The food that helps, the food that hinders, and some strategies to make meals less stressful and more effective. And stick with me until the very end because I've got a Bryceism about food and Parkinson's that will make you laugh while you nod in agreement.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey, I'm Bryce. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 40, and I've been living with it for 15 years. And this is Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button now because we talk about the real side of Parkinson's, the stuff that nobody else does. So, why does diet matter with Parkinson's? Well, Parkinson's doesn't just affect movement. It slows digestion, it changes how your meds are absorbed, and it messes with your energy. If your gut is slow, your meds can be slow. If your meals are off, you can feel stiff, foggy, or completely drained. I learned this the hard way. I once had a big steak dinner, took my Levodopa right after, and then spent the evening wondering why nothing was working. Turns out, my meal basically canceled out my meds. And that's when I realized food isn't just food with Parkinson's. It's part of the treatment plan. And honestly, I couldn't even blame the meds that night. After that much steak, I didn't feel like working either. So let's break this down, starting with the foods that help. Number one, fiber-rich foods. Fiber is your friend. Oatmeal, beans, lentils, whole grains, fruits, vegetables. One person in the community told me that their secret weapon is oatmeal with flaxseed and blueberries every single morning. They said, it keeps me regular. It gives me steady energy instead of a crash. And that, to me, is a win-win. Number two, omega-3s. These healthy fats are in salmon, walnuts, and flax. They're good for your brain, and they may help with inflammation. One viewer swears by eating fish twice a week. They told me I notice less brain fog when I stick to it. Now, I can't prove that, but when you're living with Parkinson's, any edge is worth exploring. How about number three, antioxidants? Parkinson's is linked to oxidative stress, so eating colorful foods can help. Berries, spinach, kale, red peppers. A friend of mine calls it eating the rainbow. If your plate looks colorful, then you're probably feeding your body something that it can use. Okay, number four is hydration. Now this one sounds simple, but it's huge. Dehydration makes stiffness, fatigue, and constipation worse. One of you told me that you start every morning with a warm glass of lemon water. You called it your morning flush. And honestly, I love that. Personally, I just call it plumbing maintenance. Now, let's switch gears because just as some foods help, others can get in the way. And number one, and you know this, is high protein. Protein itself is not the enemy, it's essential. The tricky part, though, is that protein and levodopa compete for the absorption in the gut. That means sometimes if you eat a high protein meal and take your meds at the same time, you might feel like your dose just doesn't ever kick in. Here's the thing, though. I don't live by a strict protein timing schedule. Life's already complicated enough for me with Parkinson's. So for me, if I know I'm about to have a big protein heavy meal, I'll just adjust my levodopa a little bit. Sometimes I take a bit more before I eat, or sometimes a little bit after, depending on where it lands in my day. And that's what works for me. But here's the bigger picture. It's not about following some perfect rule book. It's about paying attention to your body, noticing patterns, and then adjusting. Because what throws off one person completely might not even bother someone else. And that's the thought I want to leave with you in this section. Food and meds aren't the enemies. It's just about learning the rhythm that works for you. Now, I'm not the only one. One of you told me that you had your meds right after a big breakfast of eggs and bacon, and it felt like they never kicked in until hours later. And that's when you realize it's not the meds that stop working, it's the timing with the food that makes all the difference. Number two, processed foods and sugar. Well, we all know they're not great. They're yummy, but not great. But with Parkinson's, the impact can be harsher. Sugar gives you a spike and then crashes you hard. So if you're already fighting fatigue, that crash can feel like someone pulled the plug on your whole body. One person told me that they had cake at a birthday party and then spent the next hour feeling like their batteries had died. One minute you're celebrating, the next you're on a balloon with feel like a balloon with all the air let out. Sugar isn't evil. Let's just say it's just not a loyal friend. Number 3 would be excess dairy. This doesn't apply to everyone, but for many, dairy makes constipation worse. And when you're already dealing with that, you don't need the extra challenge, do you? So here's the question. How do you make your diet work for you without feeling like you have to give up everything you enjoy? That's where strategy comes in. And here's the tips. Tip number 1 is meal timing. I already shared my approach. If I know I'm going to eat a big protein meal, I adjust my meds around it. But some people prefer the standard advice, which is spacing protein and Levodopa apart. The point is, notice what works for your body and build around that. And then that leads to number 2, which is meal planning. On good days, prep simple, healthy meals so you don't have to think about them on bad days. Someone in the community told me that they batch cook a big pot of veggie soup, freeze it in single portions. Now that's smart. It saves energy. It keeps you out of the processed food trap too. Tip number 3 would be eating out. If I know my meds are due, I'll order something light like soup or salad instead of something heavy. And then I plan ahead so that I'm not stuck deciding between my meds and my meal if I have to. And one of you told me that you even bring snacks with you just in case. And that's smart planning. It's planning ahead. Tip number 4 is grocery shopping. And here's a simple rule. Shop the perimeter. That's where the fresh stuff lives. Produce, meat, dairy. The middle aisles are where all the processed junk hides. And someone in the comments said, I treat the middle aisles like a minefield. I don't even go down them. And that one made me laugh, but it was really brilliant. And speaking of community, you've shared some great tips. Smoothie with spinach, berries, almond milk, and flax. Quick, easy, and Parkinson-friendly recipes. And another favorite, someone said, if the plate looks beige, I know I'm in trouble. And they're right. Beige usually means bread, pasta, fries. Delicious, yes. Helpful for Parkinson's, not so much. My taste buds cheer, but the rest of me stages a protest. It's up to you. You pick the day. Now let's zoom out, because diet isn't just about nutrients. It's about dignity, confidence, and connection. I know people who skip dinner parties because they're worried about med timing. Others avoid restaurants because they feel embarrassed about slow eating. And that isolation can sometimes hurt more than the disease itself. And that's why we talk about this stuff, because food is family, food is joy, food is connection, and yes, food is strategy. And that brings me to today's Bryceism. With Parkinson's, food isn't just fuel, it's strategy. The trick is knowing which battles are worth fighting on the plate so you don't lose the war in your body. So now it's your turn. What's one food swap, recipe, or tip that's helped you manage Parkinson's better? Drop it in the comments, because your idea might be the one that helps somebody else. And if you found this helpful, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with somebody who's trying to figure out what food and Parkinson's looks like. And if you're looking for something a little deeper, a little more private, support, monthly meetups, space where you don't have to explain yourself, check out the Inner Circle. The link is in the description below. It's our private community, and you're invited. And until next time, I want you to keep showing up, keep being real, and keep doing life today.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.